parallel developments that are unfolding in Canada. Poilievre is projected to lose his long-time rural Ottawa seat to Liberal Bruce Fanjoy. In fact, he'd won the area 7 times in a row, going back to his first win in 2004. If we can, let's play out this soundbite of Poilievre. But before that, well, let's always start the show and start the coverage with the winner, because the winner takes it all. And we should in fact be playing Carney's bite first, and then we'll come back and play Poilievre at some stage. But first up, let's get in Vikram Chaudhary from Brampton to talk to us about the ramifications of this victory, its impact, and how it is likely to shake things up in Canada. Vikram, I know it was basically Donald Trump who shook everything up in the last 2 months, but what do you expect going forward?
You know, it's a saying that 2 months is a long time in politics, or perhaps 2 weeks is a long time in politics, and this was the testimony. The Canadian election results was the testimony to that fact, is that even 2 days is a long time in politics. We've seen many ups and downs, but this situation, what's unfolded today, was unimaginable in December of 2024, when the gap between Liberal Party and the Conservative Party was more than 25 points. And today you have it, Mark Carney, who many perhaps never even would have imagined a few months ago that could be the next Prime Minister of Canada. And what I can tell you is that it's not going to be easy ride for Mark Carney. He's got a number of things to take care. Obviously, the discontent in Canada, the economy is in shambles, unemployment, inflation, the unaffordability, and the local issues. So those are the key issues, of course, and the immigration. Those are the issues that perhaps he has to take on the domestic front. He has to take care of these issues on the domestic front. And the elephant in the room is Donald Trump. So that's another big problem. That perhaps where he's today, it's because of Donald Trump's rhetoric, that he's been quite often saying that Canada needs to be 51st state of US. That's how he's going to shell those taxes, the tariffs against Canada. And also, Canada has always been a great ally for US. And the fact is that the political parties try to capitalize on this, the betrayal, that who's best fitted to do the job, to show perhaps who Donald Trump, confront him up front. So that was the real issue in the Canadian elections out here. But on the Conservative side, they've done well. They've increased their vote share, perhaps the largest in the last about 20 years. But unfortunately for them, their leader lost the riding of Carleton. And not just Pierre Poilievre, it's Jagmeet Singh as well. Jagmeet Singh lost his own riding. And then perhaps his party even lost the status of the national party. So things were very loud during the campaign, perhaps the loudest campaign in Canada in last about 10 years. But
Vikram, I need to tell this to our viewers. Stay with me, because there are 3 very important takeaways of this election that has just come out. First important takeaway, Mark Carney has got the 4th Liberal victory. That was unprecedented, unexpected till 2 months back. The second important takeaway, Mr. Poilievre, that I was speaking about a short while back, has lost his own seat. There's going to be now a churn in the Conservative Party itself, and that is likely to shape Canadian politics as well going forward. The third other important takeaway is that Jagmeet Singh, the man who was very instrumental in being a part of Trudeau politics that essentially ruptured India-Canada ties due to extremist ideologies related to Khalistan, has lost his own seat, has lost the status of the National Party for NDP. So that is an end of the road for Jagmeet Singh. So these are 3 important takeaways. Now we are trying to now come up and talk about the big picture. What does this mean for Canada going forward? What will be Mark Carney's roadmap as he fixes the economy, fixes the trade issues with US, tries to strike a balance with some of the other countries in the world? He also mentioned that India is a very important partner, an important country he wants to focus on. And then, of course, he'll have to fix some of the other domestic issues as well. Vikram, I want to now come back to you and ask you, what do you think would be the first set of priorities that Mark Carney is likely to focus on?
I think the first set of priorities, obviously, is Donald Trump's the tariff rhetoric. So he needs to address. There's a lot of uncertainty around it, whether the spare parts, the auto parts, the cars, the aluminium, the steel. What would be tariffed and at what rate? So there's a lot of uncertainty around there. Of course, that would be his priority, and that's what got him to power, where the situation where Liberal is today. And when you talk about Indo-Canadian relationship, you brought up a very important point. Jagmeet Singh is not there. And let's remember that Liberal was a minority government, and Jagmeet Singh's support was crucial for Justin Trudeau, and he could have pulled the plug anytime. So what he was trying to play is perhaps trying to keep Jagmeet Singh happy and also bring in the nationalist a nationalist sentiment when he tried to say that India was trying to interfere in Canadian politics, and perhaps some of the Canadian citizens were not very safe when India had its interest to be taken care of. So those were the issues Justin Trudeau was trying to rely heavily on.
Trudeau rejected, Jagmeet Singh rejected. Trudeau rejected by his own party, Jagmeet Singh rejected by the people of Canada. So that ideology, that sentiment, that thought is now behind, and Carney needs to now turn the leaf, start a chapter completely different. Before I let you go and before we slip into a break, Bikram, I want to understand from you the churn that you expect in Canadian politics, both when it comes to the Conservative Party and also some of the other smaller parties. BQ did very well. Many said more than what was expected.
It's not going to be easy if I start with Mark Carney. It's not going to be very easy. Remember, he's not a politician. He's a trained economist. He was governor of Bank of Canada, Bank of England's governor. And this perhaps is his first innings as a politician. So you cannot, we cannot have high expectations. So it's not going to be very easy. Remember, for the moment, the counting has been suspended. They're still short of majority. First, he needs to do very well as a politician, take his flock together, and also try and see that portfolio distribution, who deserves what. So Mark's Carney task is not cut out yet, so there's lots to do. And also remember that Pierre Poilievre, he's a wounded tiger at the moment. He'll try and see that he remains the leader of the Conservative Party. Remember,
so a lot of churn is likely to take place.
25, at the age of 25, he became one of the youngest MPs, and ever since he's been very vocal and very articulate, and he's a very good orator.
Articulate, a young politician who's really tried to create that, and all along he created that distinction between himself and Mark Carney, saying he came from humble roots and he exemplified the Canadian life. Unlike Mark Carney, who was Mr. Moneybags. That's what he talked about all along in the campaign. It didn't hit a chord with the people. I'm going to slip into a break. Bikram, thanks so much for really decoding that for us in greater detail. Quick break. We come back on the other side. The Ottawa-New Delhi relationship after the big reset in Canada. What will it look like? We come back and talk more on that.
Nothing beats a celebration. And at Tesco Mobile, we're ringing in 30 years of Club Card with deals like the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus, with 25 gigs of data for just $43.99 a month with Club Card prices, saving you £270. Better yet, that price is frozen for the duration of your contract. And you can even bag a £30 Tesco gift card too. It pays to be connected. Search Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Protect what matters to you with Simply Safe Home Security. Get our Which Best Buy rated starter pack from under £200. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
It's pandemonium, it's pandalicious, it's pantastic. It's the world of Panda Bingo.
I like to make a cup of tea, get settled on the sofa and play Panda Bingo. It's like a little bit of me time. Well, me and the pandas.
Whether I'm out and about on my mobile or just at home on the laptop, I can play my favourite Panda Bingo games anytime, anywhere. I just love it.
Brilliant bingo rooms, great games, out of this world offers. Join today at pandabingo.com/bingo.
It feels good knowing that your future's in hand. Evlo can offer you a loan from £1,000 to £15,000. Get your conditional decision in minutes.
What they don't tell you about getting older is how much fun it can be. Enjoying all the things you've worked so hard for. Spending time with the people that really matter. not to mention finally finding that precious time for yourself. I don't want anything taking my best years away from me, but like so many people, I've seen the heartbreak that dementia can cause. That's why I'm asking everyone to order this essential free guide from Alzheimer's Research UK. It's called Your Brain Matters. We all know what's good for our heart and our lungs, but do you know how to keep your brain healthy too? Well, this guide tells you how, in 7 steps you can start taking right now, whatever your age. Just ring the number on screen to get your free copy. Inside you'll find facts and tips that can keep your brain healthy and help reduce your risk of developing dementia. It's advice you can really trust from leading dementia scientists. Read it, keep it, and check back whenever you need to. Order your free copy now. Call Alzheimer's Research UK on 0800 035 5984 or text BRAIN2 to 78866. Think of it as another way of planning for your best years, because your brain really matters.
In People's Postcode Lottery's May draws, you could win a share of £15.6 million. For the chance to win, sign up before midnight tomorrow.
Let's now get in Ambassador Satish Mehta, India's former Consul General in Toronto, along with Maha Siddiqui, my colleague, who's standing by to really decode for us what lies ahead in terms of the India-Canada relationship. We'll also try and connect with Don Patel in just a bit. Maha, you've been keeping your ear to the ground, so to say. You've seen the changes that have unfolded in India-Canada relationship in the last 6 months. How do you see that being repaired, given the fact that Mr. Carney did mention that India is an important relationship, and Prime Minister Modi also congratulated Mark Carney, talked about the bilateral relationship. How do you see this now going forward from here, the New Delhi-Ottawa relationship?
Well, clearly, Gaurie, at the moment, Canada realizes the importance of shoring up other allies, other friends and partners in view of their souring relationship with the United States. And with the annexation and economic threats coming in from the US, in that context, the whole of Indo-Pacific becomes very important for Canada. They already have an Indo-Pacific strategy, which does highlight the importance of India. But unfortunately, over the past few years, the issue of the pro-Khalistan movement being allowed to continue here unchecked in Canada was an issue that India was concerned about and had repeatedly raised, which led to a situation ultimately where we saw the unfortunate departure of diplomats from either side last year. With Mark Carney coming in, and if this is not a minority government finally, because remember, Gaurie, counting is still continuing. It was paused for a bit, and in about 15 minutes from now, the counting will resume. And for some ridings right now, it is still too close to call. The Liberals are at 168. They are 4 seats shy of a majority government. If they finally get a majority government, they will not be dependent on any other party for taking the decisions that they do in Parliament or otherwise. Many people believe that the last time around, the Liberal government being in minority and being supported by NDP was leading them to take certain decisions with regards to India that were not conducive for the relationship between New Delhi and Ottawa. And therefore, a lot hinges really on the composition finally of the government, on whether and how stable it is. Mark Carney has indicated that he would like for better relations between the two countries, but how it plays out politically because of domestic pressures, it still remains to be seen, and it clearly depends on the numbers that they would have ultimately.
All right, Maha Siddiqui, really appreciate you giving us that lowdown on what lies ahead and what could be the future of the New Delhi-Ottawa relationship. And in fact, that's why let's put up those big questions that we always put on for our viewers to understand why this discussion, this issue is so important. First up, what does Carney's win mean for the India-Canada relationship? Next, can Carney repair the ties? Remember, they underwent their steepest decline, their nadir during Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh combination's time. But can they repair from that nadir? Next, will India and Canada finalize a free trade pact? There are geopolitical headwinds given the fact that Donald Trump, well, is pretty much breathing down Canada's neck. Will that be a catalyst? Next, how will Carney address the Khalistan issue? The Khalistani issue still is an important factor. Canadian politicians they've expressed that they have a soft corner for these separatist ideologies and extremist views. How will Mark Carney address this is another key issue. Ambassador Satish Mehta joins me, and we also have Dan Patel to talk on that. Ambassador Mehta, to you first. The India-Canada relationship, Prime Minister Modi has congratulated Mark Carney. Mark Carney said that India is an important relationship that he would like to look at going forward. Where do you see this now going, and what do you think should be the milestones that we should now look out for?
Thank you very much. Let's just start with the elections first, and let's decode those elections. That's important. So, first thing is, of course, the Liberals have come for the fourth time in power. They hope to be there now. And that's almost unprecedented. The second thing is the vote share. Liberals in the last election, that was 2021 elections, had about 33% vote share. And now they moved to over 42%, so almost 9-10% jump. And that has come mainly at the cost of Jagmeet Singh's party, the NDP. Equally interestingly, the Conservatives have also increased their vote share from about 33-34% to over 41%. So you see a consolidation of votes towards two major parties. Bloc Québécois continues to get what it gets, a little bit here, a little bit there. The new party, which is sort of the MAGA party of Canada, the PPC, has taken a lot of drubbing from over 5% vote in the last elections. They have just a 1% vote. So you see consolidation of votes, at least in this election, to the two major parties of Canada, the Liberals and the Conservatives. The first thing. Second is very clearly, if you see the way things have progressed since the last few months, Conservatives were about 70 to 20% ahead of Liberals. And then the Trump effect happened. And first Trudeau and then Mark Carney stood up to President Trump. And I think that's what turned the tide for the Liberal Party. Mark Carney was seen, including Trudeau also.
Okay.
Was seen standing up to President Trump. So that's something to bear in mind. The third important issue, which I think once we get more details of the election Q1, how many of the Liberal members would have a pro-Khalistani orientation? That's important, because it's both, not just...
Okay, I believe there's an audio issue. I'm going to try and address that. But Mr. Patel, let me come to you now. Some of the points that Ambassador Mehta made are extremely significant, that Mark Carney has gained on the back of the complete collapse of Jagmeet Singh's party and his vote base. The fact that he, of course, is very close to getting a majority of his own, the fact that Pierre Poilievre, his primary opponent, himself has lost his seat, all these do indicate a very empowered Canadian Prime Minister who will be empowered to take decisions that will be better for Canada and also ensure that the Canadian-Indian relationship moves forward. How do you read that?
Well, who would be more happy to see this relationship build in a so progressive way than myself? Because I was myself as a victim of this India-Canada relationship. This Khalistan factor came up. My ties with the Consul General over here, they portrayed me as an Indian agent, and that's how they removed it. So who would be more happy to see this relationship improve? And yes, as we say, Mark Carney is about to make the majority, even though he is liberal, doesn't make the majority government, even though there will be minority, he is indicating that he will improve the relationship with India and bilateral relationship with not only India but globally. What had become in last few years of this liberal NDP coalition has become a joke for Canadian in our G7 country also. So definitely hoping to see that is improving, but that is also takes in Mark Carney's hand to take the step forward, say what he is doing it, and he's showing the strength that okay, I will be going forward and improving the relationship with Prime Minister Modi and his government in India. Coming forward, let's say whatever the Pierre Poilievre has lost his own seat into in his riding, and there will be speculation that by-election will come up, and the Conservative did gain lots of seats over here, so they'll be putting up the pressure to build up the relationship globally, especially with India. So we are seeing that all this taking, and Khalistan factor was definitely one of the big factor where Liberal was pushed to take so many decisions, which was not only in favor of anybody, but it was damaging the relationship with India. So going forward, we are looking at that progress, which Mark Carney will be taking further.
Indeed. Ambassador Mehta, then let me ask you, you've been able to decode the election results. Talk to us about your expectations of the first set of measures that you expect the Carney government to now undertake to repair the India-Canada relationship.
I think he will move forward to repair India-Canada relations. He had expressed that earlier too. Secondly, he's not a normal politician. He has been a chairman of the Bank of England, Bank of Canada, more economist, a person who is not a normal politician, if one has to brand him. And so one expects that he will not fall into the Khalistani trap or this the silliness of all that, as compared to what Justin Trudeau did. To great cost to India-Canada relations. Conservatives were very good under Stephen Harper. I was there when he was Prime Minister, and he gave no quarter to those who India haters at all. Pretty firm on that. I don't know to what extent Mr. Carney would go. That depends, as I said, upon once you know the detail results of who won, who did not, and what kind of support he gets from, very likely from the truncated NDP, and who has won from the NDP side. So
NDP will be a non-entity, but I'm going to, sir, there is a recurring audio issue, and I hope that we are able to fix this. But Mr. Patel, let me ask you the other factor. In the event that Mr. Carney still is a couple of seats short, ridings as Canadians call it, is still short, and he needs the support of BQ, the Quebec party. How do you think that is likely to shape his policies, given the fact that the coalition partner will come in with his or its own set of priorities?
Well, as we have seen, that Mr. Carney is not a career politician, but in last, it never has been in a federal election before that this much a long lead has wiped out and somebody has arisen with just a short time and became a prime minister in Canadian history. So that shows people is believing in him, people is showing the strength in him, and he will come forward with the help of either Bloc Québécois or minority government themselves. But he is still a prime minister. He will take the decision, and once he starts taking the steps, improving the global relationship, especially with India and US, the support from other parties, I definitely see it will be start pouring in. Bloc Québécois, doesn't matter what they say, yes, they will have to get support. It's only 4 seats shy of Liberal getting into that. But even though what I think it is, even though it is a minority government, they form it, Mark Carney will take so much bold decisions to make the relationship better going forward or in favor of the Canadian public.
All right, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. And as we wrap this up, bottom line, viewers, is that Mark Carney is not Justin Trudeau. And there are 4 reasons why that is the case. Mark Carney is the one who led his party to a 4th victory that was unexpected. unlike Justin Trudeau, who was the reason for polls to be tanking. Second, Mark Carney is a successful economist, a banker who's expected to fix the Canadian economy, unlike Justin Trudeau, who sat over a housing crisis and economic crisis. Mark Carney also has made some very promising statements about the India-Canada relationship. He said he wants to repair it through mutual respect. Justin Trudeau was the reason why the India-Canada relationship tanked. And lastly, Mark Carney doesn't need Jagmeet Singh to be the Prime Minister. Justin Trudeau's party was led into power because of the crutches of Jagmeet Singh's party. These 4 reasons are enough to tell us that Carney's Prime Ministership will be nothing like Justin Trudeau. He will work on fixing the relationship, making it better. At stake are the 4.2 lakh Indian students who are in Canada, the 2.8 million diaspora of Indo-Canadians, and of course, a large, thriving trade relationship ruptured by Justin Trudeau and his petty politics. On that note, completely timed out on this edition of Canada Decides. Thanks so much for tuning in.
No child should suffer the torture of trachoma, but so many are in pain right now. Nananga's lashes have turned inwards. They rip and tear away at his eyes. Pamelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today. By calling 0800 038 4926 and giving £1 a week to Sightsavers, you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 038 4926. Text C13 to 82727 or go online and give just £1 a week now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo, the site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. That's luckycowbingo.com/bingo.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Professional monitoring?
Activated.
This summer, leave your worries behind. Protect what matters to you with Simply Safe Home Security. Systems start from under £200 with the professional monitoring plan. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
If you have cancer, you may feel overwhelmed with worries.
Will I lose my hair?
How bad will my side effects be?
How do I cope with waiting?
What happens now?
Whatever your cancer worries, Macmillan is here for you. Whether you're anxious about side effects, waiting for test results or appointments, or just need someone to listen, don't struggle alone. Whatever you need to ask, we're here for you 7 days a week. Call Macmillan for free now on 0808 258 8000.
Get £8 off at selected restaurants on Just Eat. Use code APRIL8 now.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
I'll fix him, love. Poor pet. Just shows you never know what's going to happen. Which reminds me, I need to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm looking into Smart Family Life Insurance. Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK. You can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000, depending on your age. If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And it could help my husband with the mortgage.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cash back on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you'll also get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View. I'm Veera Raghav. What's on the show tonight? Our special focus on the crackdown on drugs in the Malayalam film world and the arrests subsequent to that. But first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking this hour. A crucial security meeting at the Prime Minister's residence just come to a close. The Defence Minister, Chief of Defence Staff and National Security Advisor met with the Prime Minister. Congress sharpens its attack on Prime Minister Modi for not being present at the all-party meet, posts a headless picture of the Prime Minister on the social media. The BJP hits back, claims the Congress is taking orders from Pakistan. Supreme Court refuses to allow disclosure of the Pegasus report, says national security cannot be compromised. A Karnataka couple who escaped from the Pahalgam attack recount their horrific tale and how they dodged the bullets to NDTV. A special report up ahead. Well, first up to our special focus this evening, the continuing crackdown on banned narcotics and drug abuse in the Malayalam film and entertainment industry. Popular Malayalam rapper Hirandas Murli, popularly called rapper Vedan, and his friends were arrested on Monday from his flat for alleged possession and use of marijuana. The arrest comes close on the heels of the arrest of two noted film directors, Khalid Rahman and Ashraf Hamza, over the weekend on similar charges. The focus on the use of drugs in the Malayalam film industry was brought into focus by actor Vinci Aloysius, who had alleged that co-star Shiny Tom Chacko had misbehaved under the influence of drugs on sets. Kerala has been combating, remember, drug abuse notoriously rising in the state, and the film industry is a key focus area in the battle against drugs. So is this the murky side of the Malayalam film industry? In fact, is drug abuse a reality in film industries and affluent areas across the board in the country? Joining me this evening, Major Ravi, noted Malayalam film director, Rahul Ishwar, author and activist from Kerala, Sanjay Sahai, former additional Director General of Police in Karnataka, and actor Sanjana Galrani. Thanks to all four of you for joining me this evening. My first question to you, Major Ravi, is the rampant use of banned narcotic substances the reality of the film industry? Is it more the rule, or are these arrests and accusations we see the exceptions?
See, the Malayalam film industry has got very, very reputed all India figures like Mohanlal, Mammootty, and senior actors, a lot of senior actors. Why these people are not, their names are not taken through this kind of drug mafia and all these things? If you look at it, the new generation people, those who are coming, and they get into this thing, or they got into this thing, or they got trapped into this thing, or whatever it is. It's a big game plan which had happened, and it was happening in film industry, and so many raids and everything was happening. But then there was no such a big hammer till now. Whatsoever the government has taken this step to curb these guys. Why? Because today someone has, I read it somewhere that earlier it was Punjab, the drug mafia's, hub, but today it is in Kerala. Yes, it's a fact. So it's a high time for this police and excise and the government to take a big hammer onto these people. Now, these two people, the two actors who were caught and they were interrogated, and afterwards, one guy, you spelled him wrongly, he's not Shiny Chaco, Shiny Tom Chaco, he's Shine Tom Chaco. So this man voluntarily told the police that you take me to the rehabilitation center because I want to come out of this thing through the de-addiction center help. So at least he had the mind to realize that yes, I am an addict to this and let me correct myself. Yes, we got to give a chance to him. But then there are a lot of people who are not even bothered about, okay, you are caught. You come into the TV. You are showing yourself as a, hero who has encountered the terrorists in Pulwama and killed those people. And that kind of a look you're giving it, that means you are not realizing that what kind of an example you are giving to the society and the young generation who are looking upon you, saying that, oh, he's an actor, he's an actor. They follow. There are a lot of fan followers of these guys. So they cannot afford to give such an impression to this young generation. They follow these people. So luckily, the senior actors who has got millions of fan followers, they are not involved in this. These small times, this a rapper or whoever it is.
Right.
I don't understand what is their concept about the society and responsibility. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think you're making a very, very important point. It's also a generational point that you're making. Before I go to Sanjay Sahai, Rahul Ishwar, there is a sense that when you're talking of marijuana, what we believe that the rapper was found with was hybrid marijuana, it's still at the low end. We don't hear of cases of cocaine and other drugs which some police officers say is actually rampant being actually caught. So is the crackdown also largely about optics rather than something that really needs to go far deeper in terms of attacking the core of the issue?
Major Ravi sir has brilliantly and sharply put it. See, Kerala is facing a huge crisis. NDPS cases in Kerala last year, 2024, is around 27,000 cases. This is the largest in India. 5 years back, if Punjab had the highest case, right now Kerala has almost double the case of Punjab. And one report, which was submitted in the Lok Sabha says 33,000 arrests were made in Punjab. Our population, or Malayali population, is just 3.5 crores. I am a proud Malayali, I am a proud Keralite, but let us be honest in understanding that Kerala has a huge drug issue. So we cannot show any laxity. Yes, MDMA was caught, the ganja was caught, there are LSD stamps were caught. The first consumption age is as low as 12 or 13 according to various studies. And one of the biggest hauls of drug in India regularly happens in Kerala. So there is a huge issue that needs to be tackled. But how should we tackle it? We should tackle with a two-handed approach. With one hand, there should be a long, strong, iron hand of law. And on the other hand, there should be compassion, rehabilitation, winning them back. So these are the two approaches we need to balance. One, they are not villains, they are victims too. Those people who get involved in drugs, they are not only villains, they are victims too. So we need to have some kind of a compassion towards them. We cannot emulate the example of Philippines, where Duterte, their president, end up killing 6,000 to 7,000 people. That is not India. So we need to deal them with compassion, whether it is Shine, whether it is Vedan, whether it is Srinath Bhasi. We have to win them back. That is the responsibility of the civil society.
Absolutely. That's a very, very important and emphatically made Rahul Ishwar. Sanjay Sahai, from an enforcement point of view, A, how do you see these arguments being made? B, is it just restricted to the Malayalam film world? Because those from affluent sections, those who go into rave parties and, they tend to claim that it is available across the board, and this tends to become the norm in certain affluent parties, whether it is in Hyderabad, whether it is in Bangalore, whether it is in Bombay or in Chennai. Sanjay Sahai, you need to unmute yourself.
I think today we are restricting ourselves to the Malayalam film industry, and rather than stick to Malayalam film industry only. HEMA committee report, it brought the underbelly of Malayalam film industry to the mainstream public domain all across the country. As far as this particular issue is concerned, I don't think it is limited to Malayalam film industry or to Kerala. I think it is somehow what level of rampant it is in different cities. I think we generally get through the newspaper reports. What is very, very intriguing about this information and what we are covering today is that I did a bit of research on this. And from Vedan to Khalid to Ashraf to Sain Tom Chacko to Srinath Basi, I think there's a whole load of actors, directors who have been involved with smugglers, and also this has impacted the way they behave. It's also said that I think about this Basi actor that he moves onto the stage only after taking substance. Then when there is an allegation or there is a grievance which goes to Amma, that is their federation, I think no action is taken on that. So broadly, one is that there is drug abuse. And the second part is, I think it is normalized to a great extent as far as Malayalam film industry is concerned. And right now I'm talking only about the Malayalam film industry. I'm not putting it in comparison to any other film industry or other rape parties. So my own understanding is that internally it is somehow accepted that, okay, whatever is going on, it's fine. And the police and the investigative agencies, they're getting the lots of connects here and there. But I think they're losing the thread as they move forward in the investigation. Because the first major case is of 2015. And from 2015 to 2025, I think it's a long way which we have come in last 10 years. Things have only become rampant with the passage of time. So this is broadly where we stand, and if we want to make any dent on whatever is happening there, I think the police and the Malayalam film industry need to come together and take it forward. First and foremost, whether there is a will to do that or not.
Absolutely.
We have
It's
been
an
seeing this with regards to schools and colleges and all across
Absolutely.
the country. You find drugs
No,
somewhere
it's an
around
important question
schools
that
and
you raised there. Sanjana Galrani, in a sense, the important point that you're raising there, Sanjay Sahai. Sanjana Galrani, I'm posing pretty much the same question that I posed to Mr. Sahai. Is this just about the Malayalam film industry? What's the truth about it? Is it a prevalent, widely acknowledged, accepted fact across affluent sections and film industries anywhere in the country?
I have a film in the release, the titled Kundarandi Office, and my co-star is one and only Srinath Bashi in that. And this film I have shot about, say, close to 9 to 10 months ago, and it's right now getting ready for the release. And before we could go on floor and shoot for this film, there were some clashes in between Amma and Bashi, which had happened regarding the same topic. And when he was back on the location and we were shooting, at that time he was completely clean, he was completely sane, he was very cooperative, because there were multiple warnings given to him from the Malayalam Film Industry Board that is called Amma, and he was very disciplined. But once you're tagged with something like this, you're tagged for life. And I think somewhere there are victims, or somewhere there's a streak of depression, there's a streak of loneliness, or there's a medical